You know, when it comes to HSR, a lot of things obviously get complained about, and rightfully so, especially the HP inflation, which I think is ridiculous. As for the most part, as someone who plays Genshin Impact, as somebody who plays other gacha games like Dokkan Battle, One Piece Treasure Cruise, very rarely do I even go back and play Grand Cross and Wuthering Waves. That for the most part, you know, older characters get pushed off to the side because I don't know, either they can't do certain things as well as the newer characters in terms of dispelling buffs from the enemy or outputting enough damage, right? But one thing I will say, which is very, very good from this image, as you can see right here, is that this is going to allow older characters to have a somewhat, not sustainable, but somewhat good lifespan. And this is, I actually think this is a good thing, and that these should not be, you know, patched out. That these components that you see right here, the Castrus Infinite Loop, Akron Infinite Loop, Jade Half Infinite Loop, the Herta Infinite Loop, that these should be included in the game and stay there, because it allows players to, you know, here, let's look at this from this standpoint, right? Let's have player A and player B. Player A is somebody who loves spending money on their game. They have a full E2 elation team, right? So they've spent money, so that goes money into the pockets of the company, right? And because of that, player B is allowed to not spend money. And so with having these infinite loops, player B is able to have a little bit older teams, right, with some newer characters, you know, because as you can see down here, obviously we need Mortonix Blade in the Castrus and Akron team. That's just like, you need that in order to get the infinite loop going, and other, you know, stipulations and circumstances. But it allows player B to save and pull for characters they want to pull for later down the line, being able to clear end game content. Now, you're probably thinking, well, they should take that out because it's not good for the game economy and all of that. But my counter argument there is that no, actually it's not, because when you have players who spend more money on the games in order to get eidolons, in order to get more light cones, right, for the specific character, vertically investing into their teams and characters that they like, they are more inclined to do so now with these infinite loops in order to get faster and faster and faster clears. Because if you don't know, you know, zero cycling and like minimum action value depleted and all that stuff is a very, very competitive thing that players actually like care about, which depending on who you are, you might find ridiculous, or you might be like, yeah, I'm one of those, you know, whatever it is. But having these infinite loops and half infinite loops with Jade's situation is very good, because like I said, it allows the players who don't spend a whole lot or hardly spend to clear the endgame content in order to get the stellar jades, so they can save for future characters. And you know what, maybe they might be inclined to spend money down the line on a character in order to, I don't know, E2, E4, E6, whatever it may be. But it also allows the players who spend money to do these infinite loops be like, hey, you know what, dang, my Castrus right now, or you know what, in this sense, let's talk about, I don't know, like a hypothetical, like there's an infinite loop for a Finon team. I don't think there is off the top of my head, I'm just speaking hypothetically, that they have an E4 Finon and they see that there is a new strategy with Finon in order to get like a zero or infinite loop, but you know, they can squeak out like maybe saving 1 or 2 more, maybe even 3 more cycles if they get E6. Well, guess what, that player is going to be spending more money to get that E6 to be like, all right, well, now I can do this. I definitely think this is a very interesting avenue. I'm curious what a lot of the other players in the community have to say. Okay, so just talking about like, wait a minute, Fraudulent fraud loops, which require a certain number of enemies on field and consistently dying to get energy to work. Because like if there are frauds, this is nothing new. Cause like Sela for the first limited unit was already capable of looping, and things like pure fiction, but got chopped when the HP inflation hit. Yes and no to that degree. I don't know about that comment. I've been saying this since forever. The way HSR devs have designed their game and power creep model, it's literally impossible to stop infinite loops from appearing at all. The only thing that these always need specific scenarios and tons of costs so that they can be happy with the fact that not anyone or everyone can do it. Emblade's shield synergy in Gil's entire kit got ruined for no blink reason. Yeah, so people are, on one side of the fence or the other, to be completely honest. And like the infinite looping, I remember when Hysolins got released, I got her, and I forgot what endgame mode content was like, hadn't been rotated into the new cycle, and I took my DOT team into that, and it was against Farog. I remember that was the boss, and quite literally every time I used Hysolin's ultimate, it just refreshed automatically. So I forgot what it was, but it was basically like an infinite ultimate loop, and I just cleared the content with ease. Doing that feels cool, and it feels awesome. So I don't fault the fact that there are infinite loop strategies in the game, or people can abuse certain things. I don't think they should be taken out unless they are like truly game breaking, right? But for the most part, people should be allowed to enjoy the characters, see them at their full power, and all of that stuff. So I have no problem with this. I get some people might be up in arms for, whatever the reason may be, but this is definitely something that should be staying in the game.